Welcome back to another episode of the Stop and Pop. I'm your host, Jared Spence, Jiggy Jared, whatever you want to call me. So, in this episode, in the midst of the Lakers missing another postseason, I want to talk about why this, I don't want to say this failed season, even though they didn't accomplish what they want to accomplish. I want to talk about why this is solely on LeBron for reasons people may not want to think, because people want to pinpoint how, like, oh, it's his fault, he needs to take the blame for this, he put this team together, which is partly true, but it's deeper than just that, and I want to shed some light on why. So, first things first, yes, LeBron put this team together. He got Westbrook to come. He brought Melo in. He made the trade a few years ago for Anthony Davis. And yeah, all this stuff happening. And I'm gonna start from when he first came to the Lakers, because that's when it all started, of course. So I want to talk about how the young players, they can't play with LeBron James. And this is not a knock on LeBron, because he's a great leader, but at the same time, he's not a leader towards the young players that's coming in the league. For reasons that, it's already established how great LeBron is, and he's in win now mode wherever he goes, right? So wherever he goes, pieces have to be moved around, and everybody has to click, be on the right page, and everybody has to know their role. As far as young players coming in, they have a small margin of mistake. So the young players, they already, this is LeBron, like this is GOAT, this is the king, whatever they want to call him, and they're idolizing him and not realizing, like, this is also a business where you could be traded like that or cut like that. So they're thinking, maybe they have years, to develop themselves and, become the player that they supposed to be, but it's not like that with LeBron. When he comes in, pieces have to be moved around, and things have to be set in a way where he can maximize his skill set. So that's why Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart got traded for Anthony Davis, a proven superstar when healthy. Kuzma, KCP got traded for Westbrook, MVP. But my thing about that trade was, why would you trade your championship core for a player who, as great as Westbrook is, but be honest with you, he hasn't been very successful in the playoffs. And I understand that they lost in the first round badly to the Suns the year after the bubble, but we have to look at the facts about it. Miami and the Lakers both went to the finals in the bubble. That is coming off the shortest offseason, so they have less rest. And then they both got knocked out the first round and got beaten pretty badly. So you have to understand, like, okay, well, this wasn't a good comeback season for us because of the short offseason, all the stuff happening with the COVID, with the bubble. So why not just run it back the year after, where, all right, we'll have a full off season to get ready, see some rest, get some practice in, training camp, wherever the case may be. But no, they decided to feel like, okay, let's go get Russell Westbrook, and we see how that worked out. So, and I mean, listen, we know LeBron wanted to, make these pieces and everything get moved, but sometimes the front office guys step in like, hey, listen, like, we don't think this is the right fit. This is not the right move for us. Let's keep what we got because it worked. It worked before, so why not just try it again? You can't just be swapping out pieces, especially core pieces like that. That was part of your main rotation, like your best players all the time, and expecting things to work out. Like you expect chemistry to like automatically happen in one season. It doesn't work like that. Like, why do you think the Warriors have been good for so long? And the Spurs and the Lakers back with Kobe and Shaq, because they kept their core pieces together. You have to be in Celtics in the 80s, the Lakers in the 80s. These teams kept their core together. You can't keep swapping out players every 2-3 seasons and thinking you're gonna win right away. It's not how it works. It's not how the NBA works. It's not how basketball works. It's like for any type of business, you can't just keep swapping out workers and expecting success. It's not like that. So, fast forwarding to this season, where the Lakers decided to stack up and get 5-6 Hall of Famers, basically. LeBron, Westbrook, Melo, Dwight, Anthony Davis, and possibly Rajon Rondo. So, 6 players who are possible Hall of Famers. And as a basketball historian that I claim to be, I have never seen a team with more than 4 Hall of Famers, maybe 5, go and win the championship. It's just not like that. Like, it's very rare that teams like that are successful. Like the last team I can think of who've won with potentially 4 Hall of Famers were the Warriors. Steph, Clay, Draymond, Iguodala, maybe, we don't know. We have to see in the future. But you know how the Hall of Fame works. People get in for, small stuff, it doesn't, but Draymond, Defensive Player of the Year, he's a great player, he's right. Iguodala's a great player, but I'm not the committee. I don't know exactly how it works, but from what I've seen, players get in for less stuff that Iguodala and Draymond Green has definitely done in Clay. Steph is a lot, no matter what. But we could look at recent years where teams have tried to stack up and get 5 superstars or Hall of Famers, great players, whatever you want to call it, and they haven't won. The Warriors, when they got DeMarcus Cousins and Kevin Durant, the Lakers with Karl Malone and Gary Payton, Kobe and Shaq, even though it's 4, but it was too much, And this year's Lakers, they tried it, but it just didn't work out. And at the end of the day, the basketball gods is not going to let you do stuff like that. Like, you're not going to try to trick them to getting in the ring. The Nets, too. The Nets tried it last year. Look how much stuff they try to do. They try to get KD, Kyrie, Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond's there this year. Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge, James Harden. Like, come on. Like, that's a lot. And potentially, of course, like, things will be good in the regular season, but postseason comes, it doesn't work out. Players get hurt. Chemistry gets broken because players don't exactly know their role, especially coming from, perfect example, like James Harden coming from the Rockets to the Nets. Of course, he realized that his role was going to be downgraded a bit. And I feel like he took the most hit in criticism, but he did show up. He did play despite being hurt with a hamstring injury. But I feel like his role and his reputation took a huge hit because of the fact that, oh my God, James Harden can't get it done. He went to this superstar team and he didn't get it done this time. Now he got Kevin Durant, Kyrie, but no. What did the basketball gods do? They hurt James Harden. They hurt Kyrie. They put KD's foot on the 3-point line. He shot that shot. So like, sometimes it just doesn't work, and you just can't cheat the system. And I feel like that's what a lot of teams are trying to do. And LeBron is definitely kind of like the godfather of trying to cheat the system in a way. And listen, this is not a knock on LeBron. He's arguably probably top 4 all time in my perspective. Like Jordan, Kareem, LeBron, Kobe, however you want to put it, LeBron he's a top player all time. But sometimes, the too much of the control of the organization, sometimes it doesn't work, especially if you want to transition from what the team has currently and into the future. Because we have to look at it. A lot of teams have not been successful after LeBron has left them. And it takes them quite a amount of years to bounce back from where they were before. Cavs have just now made the playoffs. Well, potentially making the playoffs after LeBron. This is their first winning season since LeBron. Miami took a few years, but it's Miami. Like, they're always going to relatively be kind of good. And as far as next season with the Lakers, I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I feel like they do need to get relatively younger because a lot of their older players have gotten hurt, and I feel like they need to delegate roles better to the players that they have, because it feels like a lot of players on the team didn't know their role. And also the biggest thing is health. Like, they have to get healthy. Like, Anthony Davis has missed so many games over these last few seasons, and honestly the bubble did him good because, like, around that time when they had that break, Anthony Davis probably got hurt at that time. So him having that rest was perfect. It was perfect, especially for LeBron too, since he's older. So it's definitely something that they need to look into. Maybe a new training staff. I'm not sure what they could do for that, but injuries happen. It's part of the game. But at the end of the day, the Lakers are a great franchise, probably the greatest franchise in NBA history. But as of recent years, other than that one championship, hasn't been looking good. So hopefully they do something. They make some trades. Maybe they can bring in a point guard who can shoot, trade him for Westbrook, and Westbrook can go back to a team where he can be the lead guy again. And I just hope it's not the Hornets, because I don't want the LaMelo Westbrook project to happen. I don't want to see that, because I feel like that's not going to work out. I feel like the Hornets are really good right now with the core that they had. They just need to add things to it, like a big man and a more of a small forward who can stay healthy. They got Kelly Oubre, who's been playing really good, but Gordon Hayward has missed a lot of time these last couple of seasons. And with that being said, like, shout out to LeBron for all the stats that he put up this year. 30K, 10K, 10K, and averaging 30 this season, which is remarkable to see at his age. But Lakers need to get it together.